Queen. If you were listening just a moment ago when Captain Rich told you where your life jackets were located, we are approaching the point in the river where you'd probably want to use them the most. This corner coming up ahead of us has been measured in excess of 100 feet deep. Back in 1886, this corner was also the site of one of the largest log jams. If you can imagine lumber stacked as high as that rock face coming up ahead of us, about 50 feet up, and backed upstream for 7 miles. It took several weeks, teams of horses, tugboats, steamboats, and eventually dynamite to set this single logjam free. Historians estimate there was enough lumber in this single logjam to build 20,000 three-bedroom homes. I must caution those of you in front of the pilot's house, we do have to blow the horn again for the corner. If you continue to look at this rock face directly in front of the boat, you can see it split into 3 equal sections, almost as if it were cut with a knife. Look to the middle section about 8 feet or so from the water and you'll see a steel ring. These steel rings were put in by some of the early tugboat and steamboat captains to tie up their boats. These steel rings are made out of a Swedish bell steel and haven't rusted or corroded for the past 150 years. Once again, the steel ring is just off to the right of the front of the boat, about 8 feet or so up from the water's edge.
Yeah. Where? Lên này mà bà khẩn đủ luôn.
Before the 2000 Taylor Falls and St. Croix Falls were settled, the Sioux and Chippewa tribes were here in the area. But then came the early French explorer Daniel Duluth and Father Hennepin and other French fur traders. It took the treaty, though, of 1838 to open up the St. Croix River so the loggers could get the white pine timber. Ahead of the boat to the right, you can see the early and first steamboat landing here in Taylor's Falls. This is the same steamboat landing that many of the early settlers once docked at and traveled farther inland, some as far as 50 miles.
Có giờ mà blue vậy. Lúc đâu có độ đấy.
Coming up is the most significant rock formation on your trip today. It is the large stone cross from which the St. Croix River did receive its name. If you look ahead of the boat to the left-hand Wisconsin shoreline to the bare vertical cliff of little to no vegetation after the bay, you should be able to see an extreme side view of the large stone cross. About 20 feet or so up from the water's edge is the bottom of the cross, and 10 feet up from there are the left and right cross arms, and the top of the cliff is the top of the cross. Keep in mind, you are looking at the cross from an extreme side view, and it is formed by the projection of the cliff. Once again, you can see this large bay to our left. Look after, downstream of the large bay to that bare vertical cliff with little to no vegetation, and you should be able to see the cross.